Paul McCartney wrote yesterday. McCartney, you know, apparently he woke up with it with his head. He woke up with this in his head, just the. Okay, that's what he woke up with. He didn't wake up with the chord. He didn't wake up with the, you know. What's more inspirational? The melody. And then he says, once I sat down with that melody, I came up with scrambled eggs. And my baby loves to sun. I just love my baby's legs. And that is not an apocryphal tale. That is true. It took him 2 years to actually chord the song. He would go around people saying, is this melody familiar? So I want you to come up with the melody first, okay? So the lyrical theme. All right, let's move on. Lyrical point of view. First person will be baby, I'm a firework. Second, baby, you're a firework. Third, baby, she's a firework. What works best, in my opinion, and for this exercise, is your. So you'll be writing this song in the second person, okay? Tempo, very important. This is a very important thing, tempo. And there's a tip here as well. Too often we settle with the tempo that we start with, particularly if we're using digital audio workstations. We set the beat, we write the song, we maybe put a vocal down, and all of a sudden it seems like it's dragging a bit. So rather than go back, redo the guitar, redo the vocal, we live with the tempo. Big mistake. So at the start of the process, set the tempo. Get the guitar, come up with one chord. I want you to write with the melody, so you'll be just to get the melody flowing. Then we'll look at how you harmonise it in a little while. So set the tempo, then stop the tempo on the digital audio workstation. Play it without the tempo, and I suspect you'll find that you always play it a little bit faster. So make sure that the tempo really is backing up the feel of the melody, because that will really help the song land. 2 BPM below the optimum tempo and you might not get the cut. I wrote with Sophie Ellis-Bextor, and in fact my daughter's just been in touch with her. I put her in touch, and she's on the phone with her this evening. She's designing some sleeves for her webcast. But I was speaking to her, and I wrote a song at 118 BPM. It didn't go on the album because she said the producers, it wasn't at 120 BPM, and that was the vibe. Okay, so tempo at 120 BPM. I would like you to be somewhere around that in your track. It's a fantastic driving tempo. I did a whole lecture on this. I could have just used Katy Perry. Brand New Radicals, You Got the Music in You, 120. Roller Coaster, Rhoda Keating, another great pop song written by Greg Alexander, who is the singer of the Brand New Radicals, 120 BPM. My Sweet Lord, George Harrison. 3 Katy Perry songs, Raw, Teenage Dream and Firework, all at 120 BPM. It's a really, really good tempo to work at. So I want to switch here and keep going down. This is the important thing I want to look at: melodic movement and harmonic support. I want you to write from the melody as the primary components. Okay? So you'll sit there. Basically, I want you to come up with the chords as well. So I'm going to share my logic with you. Okay, so a little bit of the nuts and bolts of this. This is what I want you to do. So we'll mute everything. I'm going to have to freestyle a little bit here because we're running out of time, and I don't want to keep endlessly referring to my notes. So in my workstation, I set it for 120 BPM. So we have the little beat going here. If you don't have the workstation, just get a computer, get something on your phone that gives you a tempo, a little metronome. You'll find 120 BPM is great for getting a groove going. So get the groove going. Don't write the chords first. Basically, when she's writing this song, it's in 3 parts. The same with Shooting Star by Owl City, and the same with Sarah Bareilles. You're now going to have to look up those yourself, I feel, to do the homework. She starts very low down, so the melody in the verses always starts. So she's here, she's singing, So put that to the beat. She has. See how easy it is once you've got the melody to write a lyric in. Will you ever see that you're not alone? You have everything, all you need to own. Making it up when it's cold outside. The rain sets in, embrace the world and feel it on your skin, blah, etc., etc. So the melody like that is a great way to write. So I want you to find your key. It's important. The key is in G, and it's in G because you play the G chord and then you play the melody. She's hitting the third note in the G chord, which is, let me put this back up there so you can see this. There's the G chord, 1, 2, 3. Contains 3 notes, G, B, C. Now look at where her melody is placed. They're very clever. They hit the melody and they make sure it hits the 3 notes that are making up the chord, not the C or the 6th or the 7th. Of course it glances across them, but the prime note is made of here. That's the 3rd note, very important note in the chord because it decides whether it's a major or minor. So those 2 notes are actually key notes in the chord. So she's playing the melody. She's in G. So what I want you to do is find your key. Could be C, could be D. Play around. It could be a. Play around with the melody. Make sure that they're quite short for your verse, because the verse is going to tell the story. Da, da, da. You're never done, dun, dun, na, 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 na. Now look what happens when you put the chords in. Melody first. You're going to start. Make sure the first chord you use in your progression is the tonic, the G, the chord that the key that the song is in. So then you can go to a minor. Here's what Katy Perry used. She used this one. So they have G, A minor, E minor, C. Okay, quick musical lesson. Why? Because those are the chords that are in the key of G. Very simple. Every key, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 has an appropriate chord. G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, diminished bit. So they're using only chords that are in the key. 4 chords. 1 major, a minor, another minor, and very important, the 4th chord is very important in your progression. Make sure the 4th chord is a major, because there's only 2 other majors in the key. That will be a C or a D, because they tumble so nicely back to the 1st chord. You could write alternate chords, use the same melody, and they'll work. Once you've got a melody, any chord in the key will work. But always good in this pop song to start on the tonic. Start on the chord that the key of the song is. Try and end your last chord on the 4th or 5th note of the 4th or 5th chord, which will be, if it's in G, that will be a C or a D. So here are a couple of alternate chords you could use, and they'd work just as well. Okay, so what you're going to be set with is a tempo 120 BPM. You're going to write the melody. The main key, the main thing, let's stop logic, in these songs is I would like a verse, a pre and a chorus. Okay, now what I want you to do, I want you to keep the verse melody around the tonic chord. So whatever key the song is in, move your verse melody around it. If you're in G, it could be around here. Okay. In your pre, try and build up to the chorus. Try and move out the chord. Remember, these chords are going to be the same chords looping. So maybe when you hit your pre, try to move up a little. And when you hit your chorus, which will be the key word you're using, go for the octave of where you start the verse.